Awesome. Welcome, Yasser, to another episode of Click for Content. It's so nice to have you.
Hi, Mariah. Happy to be here. It's an honor.
I really appreciate it. Yasser, much like myself, has a very busy schedule, and so it's very nice of him to carve out 45-ish minutes of his day for us. I'd love to start out, Yasser, by just like, I know what you do because we meet semi regularly, but if you could tell the people what exactly it is that you do and your title.
Okay, cool. So yeah, what I do is I call myself a full stack technical marketer. So the gist of it is essentially I bridge the gap between marketing and engineering, or web development in general.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I know we met a long time ago in like an old BDR role at a tech company. So we were in sales. And so how did you get
Mhm.
into bridging the gap between marketing and web development?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I'd say it could go way back. How far back do you want me to? Do you want me to give you a quick story
Yeah, yeah.
time?
Yeah, give me the story.
Okay, cool. Um, Funnily enough, I was exposed to website development and I guess marketing because it's kind of a core part of it
Yeah.
when I was very young, like 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had like a Windows 98 computer at home and
Amazing.
he used to work on it. And when he wasn't on it, me and all my siblings, like we used to sneak on it, play around. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I discovered one of those, like one of the first page builders ever. I think it was called, it was like front page, I think, like Microsoft front page or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
And you could like drag and drop stuff. You could essentially create a website, and it
Cool.
also showed you the code. So that
Mm-hmm.
was really my first exposure to web development, and I got hooked
Yeah.
due to the magic, right? Like you can create visual elements as a kid, especially like being
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah.
And then if you fast forward a couple years, I studied in computer science. I
Mm-hmm.
graduated, got my first job as a web developer, and I was at an agency, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I learned like I like web development, but I kind of didn't like to work for someone else, so I kind of
Sure.
burned out.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and that's where essentially I decided to jump to sales. I
Yeah.
started working sales and everything because I gave up on the field of programming, and I kind of
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be my own person, right? To run my own business.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years in sales, I got the job at our old BDR role when we were collaborating together and everything.
Yeah.
And that's where my eyes kind of opened up, and I had like an aha moment over there because I always thought
Mm-hmm.
developers were the typical traditional role where you're a dev working on the product, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at our old job, essentially, we saw that the marketing team had a developer in it, a website developer.
Mm-hmm.
And that role required like a sense of marketing. You knew the lingo, you knew the understanding. You need to be able to speak human language and speak to a
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah, totally.
And when I had the opportunity to like change departments internally, that's when it kind of clicked. I realized I can merge my human side where I love connecting with people
Mhm.
to the nerdy side of myself where I like coding and being behind the computer a lot of the time as well. So that's
Yeah.
like kind of the short story, let's say.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I remember when we started working together at the tech company, you really wanted to like amp up your sales acumen, but once you kind of got the gist and moved over to like the web dev part, it was like a whole new world open for you.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. But now, much like myself, you are like a freelancer, contractor, however you want to slice that term. What's something that has like surprised you going out on your own and working for yourself this time?
Yeah, yeah. I'd say,
Lots,
um,
I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. There's like so much. There's so much. I'd say there were some emotional surprises, right?
Yeah.
And there were also like practical, let's say, day to day lifestyle surprises.
Mhm.
And if I start with the practical ones, which were the most negative ones, let's say, which was
Mhm.
initially I idealized the lifestyle. I don't know about yourself, but a
Yeah.
lot of people, especially if you look up online, a lot of people are like make $10,000 a month, whatever, work for yourself. I thought being an entrepreneur or a business owner, a freelancer,
Mhm.
would be very freeing, and you'd keep all the perks of a job, right? And you'd do one
Yeah.
thing, like I work on websites for myself.
Mhm.
But then you realize practically it's very hard. Like you lack, let's say, 9 out of 10 of the skills, right? You have one of them, which is
Yeah.
probably the fulfillment. If you're like us, you're technical.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the other ones, those were the practical surprises. So like,
Yeah.
oh, there's admin, there's all this kind of stuff.
Oh, taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Taxes, which was also like the big scary monster. But
Yeah.
for anyone listening, honestly, it's not all that bad after all, right? You learn,
Mhm.
you grow, you
Mhm.
just become decent at a lot of things. It's a crazy growth opportunity, so that's cool.
Yeah.
You grow so fast. Like it's honestly, especially like the younger you are, from my perspective, the better it is because you get to
Mhm.
scale up extremely fast,
Mhm.
and it's never too late to go back to a traditional like career path, and you'll
Yeah.
start from a much higher standpoint at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, if I talk about the emotional side of things, I'd say it's very rewarding, right? Like every step of the
Mhm.
process, even if I do stuff I don't like usually, like
Yeah.
the taxes, it's nice to be like, hey, I'm doing my own taxes. It's
Yeah.
fulfilling. Every little thing you do is working towards your future, your
Yeah.
dream or whatever. So it's super rewarding. I'd say fulfilling. Sales was always a scary thing for me.
Yeah.
Then I did it as a job. I became used to it. But then doing it
Mhm.
for myself, it's like a next level thing, right? Because you
Yeah.
sell yourself, you sell a part of yourself, you
Yep.
bond,
Mhm.
and it creates like I feel like a lot of my clients are lifetime connections, right?
Yeah, I love that. I think going freelance, like talking to Nick about it in our episode a couple weeks ago, not everybody can kind of like hack the freelance life or
Mhm.
hack the contractor life. And
For
that's
sure.
okay. It's really not for everybody. So if people do kind of like waver in their decision and go back to a salaried job, like that's a common thing people do. Have you
Exactly.
yeah, have you ever had any moments of like, oh fuck this? I should go back to like a
Yeah,
salary
yeah.
job?
100%. And not only did I want to go back to like a regular salary job, I wanted to
Hmm.
even sometimes like pivot, like
Hmm.
freelance, like pivot career. I mean, doing a drastic change.
Yeah.
Freelancing did push me to my limits quite a few times.
Yeah, same.
Imagine yourself like I often find myself doubting myself. I'm like, I love what I'm doing day to day, but then there's a few moments, maybe a few minutes in the month or in the year, or sometimes in the week. It happens a few times, sometimes more often than not.
Mhm.
And yeah, like you start doubting everything. I don't want to do a
Yeah,
drastic pivot, but
yeah,
I always take a step back and just realize like I reach out to people who are in the same. That's why it's so good, so
mm,
useful to have a network like with you, with Nick,
yeah, yeah,
and anyone else like that. We can share our despair, but also share our wins, and it's really
mhm,
nice. It's like the support is super
yeah.
important.
It is, it's so funny you say that. I was just thinking, I don't have a question, in our brief about, like, how connecting with each other is so important, but Yasser and I have, like, a quarterly meeting called Freelancers Assemble, where we do kinda, like, share our wins and what we're working on and what's working and what isn't, and
Hmm.
we don't meet a ton, but, oh my god, it's recharging, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and
Yeah.
it's nice to see somebody else as well pushing through, going through
Yeah,
obstacles. And as you said, like a job is a super like honestly, I'd say I don't recommend freelancing for actually anyone except if
no.
it comes from a really deep desire. And
Yeah.
even then, like I'd recommend 100%, as I did as well, like having a full time job. That's why
Mhm,
I didn't just strike it on my own from the get go when I quit my first
mhm.
job as a dev. I decided to learn
Yeah.
sales through jobs. It's like a job is the perfect place to learn as you earn, like pay your
Yes.
bills, learn, and on the side you can do a side hustle.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, agree. It just takes so much, like, you can have a sense of ownership, and it's good to, and everybody kinda should in their salaried roles, but this is just the next level. Like, because you can choose to sit back and do fuck all, or you can, like, grind and make something of yourself and, like, make something of your business, and it's in those instances where people actually kinda, like, get somewhere with it, but, oh my lord, is it ever a grind.
Yeah, yeah. If like one big qualifying factor, I feel like a lot of people I know who do this share, or just in general, like in the business world or even in sales, actually you see that often. It's
Yeah.
people that thrive under very stressful and high autonomy roles, but also
Mhm.
high authority, right? Like you have to make your own schedule, but you need to perform.
Yeah.
This is the kind of like, for me, if a job becomes too easy, I actually get depressed
Yeah.
because I need it to push me.
Sure,
And
sure.
sales was the first job that kind of made me feel that way. And now
Mhm.
freelancing, I'm like, wow, it's
Yeah.
actually what I need. Like I crave this kind of high intense, like
Yeah.
intensity, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like if I were to go back to, like, a salaried role, I don't think, like, I'm so used to working on just, like, "Okay, Mariah, this is what Mariah does, and this is how to push Mariah to, like, her fullest." I can motivate myself to do well, but I don't think I could lead anybody. I don't think I care enough. I'm like, "You go work on your own thing. I don't wanna, like, people manage you." I don't think I could ever be in leadership. But, being, like, a really high value ICP, maybe, but it would have to be, like, a really bomb place to
Yeah,
work
so
at.
you'd prefer being like a technical executive, like an individual
Yeah.
contributor, essentially. In the
Yeah, I'm not trying to lead anyone. No, thanks.
Yeah, yeah,
I lead myself.
you
That's
get
it.
it. Yeah, yeah.
And another question for you is, like, do you have to wear a lot of hats? But I think it's already safe to say that you absolutely do wear a lot of hats in your role. But what does some of those hats look like? Like, what are some of the services in more detail?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so in my in my context, I do So just to give you more detail, I do some custom web development work in WordPress for B2B tech companies here in
Mhm.
Montreal specifically right now. I'm like trying to focus in here. So very often, like one of the hats I wear, which isn't traditional to a web developer, I won't speak about the ones that are obvious, like I fulfill technically and whatnot, but
Mm.
the side that isn't too obvious is I do go get coffee with some of my clients sometimes.
Mhm.
I go to their offices and hang out, not only to like work, sometimes we just go to brainstorm. So I'd say the
Yeah.
project management role,
Mm.
the sales aspect, which is like I nurture my clients. Even if we don't have work together actively, they're
Yeah.
still a client, right? I still consider them in my roster. So I reach out to them. It's stuff that I really had to build over time. It doesn't come intuitively.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like the sales nurturing aspect and the project manager were
Yeah.
one of the first roles that I still to this day
Mm.
focus on because
Mm.
it's also what brought me all of my work so far. Like I haven't had
Mhm.
to do any proactive marketing so far.
Mhm.
Um,
Nice.
and yeah, now I'm starting to wear more hats. I think it's also a gradual approach, right? I'm starting
Mhm.
to force myself to wear like the content hat, which is why I
Mhm.
wanted like this is honestly a super good opportunity for me to break the ice when it
Yeah.
comes to putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And even with my blog, right? I have a blog on a
Mhm.
staging environment I'm working on, stuff like that. Like that's
Mhm.
another. So I think gradually I'm starting to wear more and more hats, and I can see
Yeah.
myself one day being forced to probably delegate something.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. You before me. You work way harder than I do, and I work myself to the bone. So yeah, you first.
I think it
Um,
always feels that way. It's interesting you say that because I feel the same towards you and towards anybody I
really?
talk to. Yeah, I always feel like other people work so much harder, and I'm like that drives me a bit. I'm like, whoa, I don't
Yeah.
have an excuse. Why am I just I don't know chilling or whatever? So I get back to work.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good to relax too, right?
Yeah, true, it is. And I think like, that reminder in each other is super helpful. Speaking of clients, what would you say like makes an ideal client to collaborate with?
Yeah. An ideal client, huh?
Mhm.
Um, I have yet to figure out like a perfect recipe for sure, but I
Okay.
think I think a huge one. I'm curious to know if you'll agree, but a huge one is just personality match,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
right now, like more and more, I try to qualify my clients for sure, like with their size, their budget, and stuff. But
Mhm.
sometimes I'll still do work that doesn't make sense on the business side, just because they're great people and we bond so much. Like I vibe
Mhm.
with them so much that
Yeah.
I'll try to find a workaround. So I think
Yeah.
yeah, more and more it's become because freelancing or running a business is a lifestyle
Mhm.
at the end of the day. So you need to make sure that when I wake up and have a meeting with a client, I
Mhm.
want to talk to them genuinely, right?
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
one for me because mental health is very important. Like you
Yeah.
gotta make sure not to grind mindless work that you don't really
Mhm.
like. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what's your approach. I'm curious to know your take on it.
That's a big one for me too, actually. I always joke that my corporate love language is being dunked on, like being roasted and made fun of. Because I need it to feel a little friendly, or else I'll hate what we're doing here. Because I just won't feel like you're a person and I'm a person. I'll feel like there's this big business wall between us that's making me like resent the work. So
Yeah,
with the clients I have direct access to, like I like to have a jokey hee hee ha ha. Like you don't have to get all my memes, but we need to be able to like joke and talk about like real people things.
for
But I
sure.
also have a client where I work partially for an agency and I represent them for their clients.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so with them, it's not like they're not my clients, they're clients of my clients. And so I always have to approach with, and I'm happy to, always approach with like a more of a like a business casual, business jargony version of myself, which is fine. But then I always eventually like try to slowly break down their walls and learn about their like lives and
Hmm.
be kind of person to person, but that transition is a lot more drawn out than if it's like a direct client with me, because if it's like a direct client with me I'm like, what's up, gamer? But if it's like if it's a client of a client, I'm like, hello, are we ready to start the meeting?
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. It's like you represent them, right? So you kind of need to keep an image at the end of the day.
Yes, yeah,
It's like you're
exactly.
offering that service to that agency, so that makes total sense. That's a different kind of
Mhm.
dynamic, right? But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, at some point, you bond. I imagine.
Yes, yeah, exactly, but the road to the bond is a little longer and a little more
Yeah,
drawn out than me immediately jumping in with
yeah,
my Gen Z lingo.
yeah. I get it. Honestly, hearing you talk, it makes me realize it's like the same criteria I'd say for a job I've loved. Like our previous
Yeah,
job, I loved it, and
yeah,
the big part, sure, there were nice perks. Like I felt like the
mhm,
salary was great,
yeah,
the benefits were really good,
mhm,
but all of that wouldn't mean anything if the culture and the people there, like my bosses, the top dogs, right?
Yeah.
If everybody in my team, everything, like if I didn't vibe with people, that's what make or break jobs. And the same thing with
Yeah.
clients, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because right now we just own our job, right? For now,
Mhm.
like it's a glorified job that we own,
Yeah.
and it's kind of the same thing. We need to. Our clients are pretty much our direct colleagues. Sometimes
Mhm.
our bosses in some cases, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. It is, and I feel like too, like we spend the majority of our lives working, Yasser, like 40 hours a week, like
Yeah, yeah,
5
40
days.
hours a week. Yeah,
Yeah, 40 hours a week. More like 60. But, we spend so much time with these people, like, they have to be people we are down to, like, hang with. But at first, when you're starting out, like, if you're a newer contractor or freelancer watching this and you're starting out, you're gonna have to take some L's and make some sacrifices, I think. Like, there were a few clients in the beginning there. I worked for, like, I wrote for, like, online casinos, like, gambling addicts, essentially, and I'm like, ethically, I do not fuck with that. And so you kinda have to just, like, take what you can get, pay your rent, build your business, and then trade up your clients and trade up your clients. So
I
it's
agree.
not all sunshine and roses. You can't, like, pick your bestie clients from the jump, as nice as that would
Yeah.
be. Hey, Yasser?
It would be awesome, honestly. That's a good point you bring, Mariah. Honestly, I remember, like my first job ever. I was a
Mhm,
cook, right, at a fast food
mhm,
chain. Like nobody
mhm.
wants to do that. I didn't want to either, and
Yeah,
I just had to build myself up. Like initially,
yeah,
we don't have the benefit or the luxury to pick. Maybe
no,
some people's opinions might differ, but from my
yeah,
experience, you
mhm,
kind of have to build your character, your skill sets, your competence. Like my first job, I struggled just to show up on time, right, to my shift. Like initially, you need to build some basic skills that we take for granted.
mhm,
So you need to build yourself up for that ideal client. But I think it's okay.
yeah,
It's good to daydream, to have a direction,
yeah,
because that helps you. Like my
yeah,
journey, just having an idea of like, wow, clients like that exist. Like getting
mhm,
your eyes out there, seeing what kind of clients exist, what kind of work you might find fulfilling,
mhm,
and then targeting jobs that are gonna allow you to go towards that direction
yep,
are definitely gonna help you out for sure.
yeah, absolutely. What are some of, like, the misconceptions people have about your work?
But my work in particular,
Yeah,
or
or like
freelancing,
freelancing in general, either way.
I think, yeah, some misconception. One of them that I hear a lot, even from close friends or family,
Mhm,
is I guess the lack of sustainability or the lack of
mm,
work or
mhm,
something like that. For sure, like I'm not saying it's easy, right?
no,
You have to hunt, you have to hustle. But I
yeah,
mean, it's not a criteria. It's not something people can say about it, because that's the whole name of the game. It's like
mhm,
you trade stability for comfort. Usually, that's the kind of thing when you go freelancing.
yep,
It's a given. Like we go in this knowing it's gonna be hard.
yeah,
Um, but the thing is, if you're made for it, the
mhm,
fulfillment you get, the satisfaction you get, the drive, it feeds you, right, and it
yeah,
nurtures you. So you
yeah,
don't feel like that's something that's not even a reality. Like, but cause some people come to me, they say, "Oh man, like pretty much they tell me there's no stability, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of the whole point in a
mhm,
way."
yeah,
I decided to trade that. So that's one of the big ones, or maybe as well like the income side of things. Some people, like not everybody initially, maybe starting off you're struggling financially, but
mhm,
you see it grow, right? Like your income, you have total control, and
yeah,
it's a direct reflection of your, I guess, sales competence and how you're able to price. Usually most people are really good. Like if you're a technical person,
yeah,
you could earn a really good wage. You just need to then build up the courage to start saying your worth,
mhm,
and yeah, like package things, market yourself, right? Do some marketing math to be able
mhm,
to value price your services. That's
yeah,
something I've been like learning in the past 6 months, honestly, and it's really helped
yeah,
uh, income wise. So that's a big misconception. People say like, some people I talk to assume I'm currently freelancing in between jobs, and I'm like in a struggle zone right now, right?
oh,
So
oh,
that's the
okay,
interesting
interesting,
one. Yeah, I don't know
yeah.
about yourself.
I would say like the income stability thing as well. Or well, people will argue like it's so much more. It's not stable. And while I guess that's true, at the same time, like if I were to get laid off from my salary role, my income goes from yes to zero. But if
Yeah,
a client drops me tomorrow, I've still got 3, 4 others who are there to sustain
exactly,
me. Right? So in some ways it is a lot more secure once you've kind of built that base of reputable regular clients.
exactly,
Um, it's kind of like, layoff proofing ourselves,
for sure,
really.
for sure. And now
Um,
that's unfortunately becoming more popular, the layoffs. And I'm
yeah.
telling people, like people that are frequently laid off, like I see them. I know some of them that are, especially like devs, get a job,
Mhm.
they get another job, laid off, laid off, laid off. And
Yep.
at that point I'm like, try to, while you're getting jobs and getting laid off, like try to build a little bit of a client, like a
Yeah.
list, just
Mhm.
as a backup. Like that, you don't need to desperately pick your next job. It's okay to
Mhm.
keep job hunting, but
Yeah.
everybody should probably play both sides of the game,
Yeah.
just to build, as you said, like instead of being in the delusion of stability.
Mhm.
Like you said it perfectly. Like one job is one source of income. Right
Mhm.
now, you lose one client, it's just a fraction. It still hurts, it
Mhm.
still stings, but you
Mhm.
have the confidence. You're still in the momentum of sales and marketing. You know how to acquire
Exactly.
another client.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like another
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I think too the other big one is they don't think they don't think we work a lot. Like the nice thing about being freelance is you get to choose your own hours, but as Nick and I say, like you have to choose all of them, unfortunately, especially
Yeah.
when you're starting out. Like I'll have clients who like I just worked on like a 4-hour article, handed it in, and then they gave me a bunch of resources for writing said article and a bunch of past ones,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Can you review like all of these documents and all of this training and all these brand assets and like go and re-edit like 4,000 words this afternoon?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I will do that for you, but it's going to have to wait until next week cuz like,
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, I'm not just chilling here waiting for new tasks to come in. I have so much shit to do."
Yeah. Um, I love you mentioned that the fact that you said no to the client. That's actually
Yeah.
something, like regarding your other question about like what surprises me, right, about freelancing.
Mhm.
Boundaries is a big one. Like you mentioned, you have to say no. That's
Yes.
something I've always had a hard time with,
Mhm.
and I'm realizing once again that like makes or break your experience. I think people that think it's unsustainable, low
Mhm.
income stuff like that, it's a question of boundaries. You need to
Mhm.
like set your price, not be desperate. If people overwhelm you with work, you're saying no to higher quality clients, right?
Yeah,
So it's really
true.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Who would you say are your, like, most frequent collaborators? Like, as a full s stack marketer, like, do you have to collaborate a lot with design, or do you take that on, or who are you working alongside with your
Mhm, mhm.
clients?
Yeah, I feel like the title full stack technical marketer, um, it's really just a positioning thing because it's very vague, it's very big, right? It's vast.
Mhm.
The reality is, I pretty much have to collaborate with other what I'd call also full stack technical marketers because they're very
Mhm.
marketing savvy, but they have
Yeah,
a craft.
right.
And I think that's called like the T-shaped marketer. And a
Oh,
lot of people are that. Like yourself, you could technically call yourself that. Like we have a craft, and then we know a bit about a few different marketing things, right?
true facts. Yeah,
And so essentially, but that's how I position myself to be like, I'm a full stack technical marketer. I feel like also it
yeah.
makes a good bridge. But yeah, I collaborate a lot with designers. Um, Very often, companies internally have their copywriter. That's one thing I notice.
Mhm.
So designers, it's like half of the time, or they have it
Yep,
internally already.
yep.
And another one would be my most frequent, my number one
Mhm.
would be like internal, super non technical marketers, people that are like 100% just marketing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have their own craft. Sometimes they manage paid. Very often, actually, when I think about it, it's paid marketing people,
Okay.
performance marketers, the ones that manage like Google Analytics and
Sure.
run Google Ads and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Digital
very often
marketers.
these, yeah,
Yeah.
digital marketers. It's very often these kinds of people that are like my direct point of contact,
Ooh,
or
okay.
the CMOs or something. Like they
Yeah.
need a right hand developer person that can
Yeah.
like they can contact them, do changes quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of executives for myself as well. But also like because I do a lot of writing, it's a lot of designers. So it's like people who make
Uh,
blog thumbnails or like in blog media and stuff like that. Like it's sometimes people ask me to go in Figma, but they regret it because
yeah, yeah,
that is not my strong suit.
yeah, I
But
get
I'll
it.
do my best. That's
Yeah,
so funny.
and it's interesting though because I imagine like you have your most frequent people you work with, but also
Yeah.
you get to work sometimes with unexpected people. I imagine.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, which is super fun. I
Yeah.
think like that's another thing too about being freelance being versus like a salary job now. Variety is so the spice of life, Yasser.
Mhm.
I don't know if I could go back to writing about the same value prop for 40 hours a week. I think I'd blow my brains
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
But because I get to like sprinkle it and do like for myself, it's not just writing, it's a lot of video production. It's a lot of like it's social, it's meme making, it's a little more visual than content used to be on paper. So I
Mhm.
can't imagine doing it just for one company. It would have to be a bomb company. Like that's another
Yeah, for
thing.
sure. Honestly, I totally agree. That's a good point. Like recently, I thought about that too. When
Mhm.
you have a few clients and you're doing, at least we're doing one craft for them, right?
Mhm.
Like in my case, all of my clients are WordPress, pretty much. Yeah, custom built
Oh,
websites, tech,
lucky.
B2B, SaaS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I find myself in a pretty lucky position.
And we
Um,
love WordPress in this house.
exactly. Yeah, everybody uses WordPress. That's also something like for whoever's listening that wants to start freelancing, whatever your craft is. Like no need to hate on the mainstream. Like me personally, I used to hate on WordPress as a dev before
Oh, oh,
joining marketing.
really? Oh,
Yeah, I was kind of
interesting.
an elitist because WordPress is built upon a lot of tech
Okay.
and some like few developers, high IQ and stuff. We love
Yeah.
tinkering, so we
Yeah.
see it as there's too much built on top of it, and we're
Oh.
not seeing the business asset side of it. Like WordPress is a
Oh.
huge business; it's a boon, right, to
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
businesses.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one thing. So I imagine that's something you can apply to other crafts too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you like using a specific instrument or medium, but it's very not
Mhm.
popular. Like it's a super niche thing. Use it as a pet project, a hobby thing, but learn
Mhm.
whatever the market is using. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, essentially, to go back to the initial point, I
Yes.
wanted to talk about. I kind of forgot, lost track of my thought, but yeah, I was talking about when you have like multiple clients and you're freelancing.
Yes.
A nice thing is when you make a win for one client, you can apply it to others. So you're kind of
Yes.
enhancing, multiplying your wins, right? And then
Mhm.
also, as you said, like I open different websites on a daily basis. I'm like on 2, 3 different websites, so it's
Mhm.
exciting.
Mhm.
I can't go back to. I remember how it was, and I realized now, wow, I was on one website doing very very niche, very detailed stuff,
Mhm.
and that's very rare. Like that's very rare to have to do that much and that often.
Mhm.
And now I get to do big things for multiple sites at the same time. It's
Yeah.
much more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's such a plus for the businesses we work with as well because they're not just getting the knowledge they like learn from you, they're getting the knowledge that all their other clients have taught that contractor. Right? So it's
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
they're collaborating with like client A is actually collaborating with like five other of my clients unbeknownst to them
Yeah. Yeah.
through my knowledge.
For sure. Yeah. You're
Which,
connecting the dots.
yeah, exactly.
And you bring some unseen knowledge. Sometimes it blows their minds, and I'm like, I didn't even come up with it. I just kind of like right.
I got that from another CMO or something, like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm just spreading the good word. Speaking of technical knowledge, bringing things around and over to other people, where would you say that people need the most technical help you find?
People need the most technical help. I'd say, like on a website, very often for marketers, it would
Mhm.
be facilitating their workflow. Honestly,
Mm.
it's a generic thing,
Mm.
but an example, a concrete example recently, and that was something that kind of surprised me because I was working with the recruiting department. Actually, it's the first time I was.
Oh.
Most of my job was in the marketing team, and then
Yeah.
the recruitment department was like, "Hey, there's a part of the website that we manage. It's like the careers page."
Oh,
And
sure.
they had a recruitment app, right, that they
Yeah.
had every time they added something in the recruitment app, they had to manually put it on the website. And before,
Oh.
how it worked, the old web agency that I kind of stole that client from was manually like telling them, hey, call us up and we'll put it in, and they manually like wrote
Oh.
some code and put in for each new role that linked to that
Yeah.
recruitment app.
Yeah.
And when I came in, I saw that. I was like, there's a lot of operational drag there. Like recruiters shouldn't do anything on the website. They should
Mhm.
just use their app. And
Mhm.
when I came in, it was on a technical side. I just used the API of that tool. I never
Mhm.
used it before. I just looked at their API, right?
Mhm.
I'm a dev. I can read that stuff. I connect it to the website. Now it's super automatic. It's dynamic,
Mhm.
and it's translated to both languages as well. That's something. It's like French and English.
Mhm.
Before, they only had the French version working. The
Mhm.
English version wasn't. Stuff like that. It was so buggy and took so long. Like they posted a job, took like a week or two for the devs to get on it. Now
Mhm.
it's instant, right? So all I
Ooh.
did was find a creative solution
Mhm.
that was very, it was a custom coded solution at the end of the day, but I just bridged two existing things together, and it made
Mhm.
their life so much simpler. And now they're very
Mm.
happy,
Yeah.
and now they have the luxury to think about other things. Now they're asking me very small details, and it's fun
Right.
to see because they evolve to other things. They're not at their basic needs. Like we just want the post to exist on the website,
Mhm.
and that's the gist of it, because I do the same for marketers. It's just
Yeah.
marketers, it's more common use cases, like, oh, we
Sure.
have a specific form and we wanted to do a very specific thing, and they're
Yeah.
either not comfortable with HubSpot or Salesforce, or they're just not comfortable with, for example, Salesforce uses a language called Pardot to like build forms.
Mhm.
Like every tool has its technicalities,
Mhm.
and that's where I come from. I'm kind
Yeah.
of very versatile in all the marketing tech and the website,
Mhm.
so I can pretty much bridge all these things together and make it so easy for them that I
Mm.
remove all as much overhead as I can, so that on
Mhm.
their side they just like click buttons, write some text, press save,
Right.
and a lot of things is done in the background. So
Yeah. Interesting, that's so cool. I thought you were gonna give me something concrete like, their demo forms always suck or, like, their landing pages, could always use some work, but it's not, like, a concrete thing that keeps coming up that you need to fix. It's their way of working that you need to come and help them fix. That's so
exactly,
fascinating, and their workflow. So essentially, like, a business out there could be doing something so manually and, like, taking up forever of their time doing something so archaically and not even realize that there's like a better way they could be doing stuff. That's
100%.
cool.
That's
Interesting.
the
That means
thing I'd
everybody
say.
needs to reach out to you for like a
Yeah,
consultation.
yeah. That's the thing I'd say. Like, if I have something a pattern, it's like
Yeah.
everybody forgets their workflow. Everybody forgets how many
Yes.
clicks they do to do something, or they have to call somebody that takes 3 weeks. It could have been
Sure.
automated. It could have been maybe just simplified.
Sure.
But yeah,
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. That's so awesome. When do you think businesses should work with contractors versus like in-house salaried people? Do you think there's like a use case for both, or do you think it's always better to go contractor? Are we biased?
I'm wondering what should I do? Should I burn the boat? Should I? But
That's so funny.
honestly, I think yeah, there's some use cases for both for sure.
Yeah,
I'd
me too.
say it's a question of frequency,
Yeah.
dependency, and like it's kind of that's a very interesting question. Um, so yeah, I think it depends as well on the
Mhm.
current state of your business. Like, are you
Yeah.
scaling or not?
Yeah,
But for
true.
and for some roles are less important than others. Like my role personally, a
Mhm.
web developer on a marketing team, I wouldn't recommend for most companies full time.
Mhm.
I would 100% recommend getting somebody like myself or an agency for their specific needs, right?
Yeah.
But then when they scale up a bit, like remember our old job, they were
Mhm.
at a good point where they had so much work for the web developer that at that
Mhm.
point it didn't make sense not to have one internally because
Yeah.
they started doing some intricate workflows, intricate things that they kind of needed a reliable person that remembers all these things. From like the past 3 years, we worked on a lot of systems.
Mhm.
That's important. So if you need documentation, like your website or your needs in general, like you get a copywriter and your copywriting workflows and everything becomes very specific. You start developing like brand guidelines when it comes to the copywriting and
Yes.
stuff. You start being more
Continuity.
established. Yeah,
Mhm.
you need continuity and reliability. Like for
Yeah.
example, technically I could drop a client if I wanted to, or they could like drop me or whatever.
Mhm.
Let's say the other way around. Like I decide to drop a client, but they rely on me like so much.
Mhm.
It would be bad for them,
Yeah.
which is not a good position to be in, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes like agencies, from my experience, a lot of agencies, some of them that I take from clients from them,
Mhm.
it's because they kind of let their client go. They were like slowly dropping them, and the
Yeah.
client was deeply relying on them. So
Mhm.
they go for someone like me right now. That's another step. Going for an individual freelancer,
Yeah.
that's kind of the next step right before hiring somebody internally, I think, because
Yeah.
then you get a bit more reliability. Like I have a
Mhm.
few high ticket clients that can pay my bills
Mhm.
and that I can continuously give them like top tier service because I'm not
Yeah.
overwhelming myself. I'm not like
Yeah.
agency level. So yeah, that's very interesting. But I'm sure there's a lot of other things. Like, do you have
Mhm.
somebody that can manage them, like
True.
stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, fair. Good point. Yeah, how much could an in-person create a ripple effect of work for everybody else?
Exactly. Like
I mean,
it creates work. Yeah.
yeah, that's
And do
so
they need
true.
to be in also like me personally? I'm kind of I imagine you too. Like a lot of freelancers are kind of unicorns in the sense that
Yeah.
they do a lot. Like I go
Yeah.
above and beyond. I don't just wait for them. I don't even they don't give me briefs most of the time. They don't know what to do
Mhm.
on the technical execution side.
Yeah.
They kind of know what they want, their vision. They're like, we want more sales, or something like we want more demo form fills, and they
Yeah.
want to rebuild the website. And I tell them
Mhm.
that's not like a direct correlation. Like your
Mhm.
website takes 20 minutes to load. I think that's
Yeah.
the issue, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then the technical execution, I come in and I'm like, no, we just have to do this little thing. It's gonna
Mhm.
fix your issue. You'll get more demo form fills. So essentially, I go above and beyond. But if you get an internal guy, he might just be a developer, for example, in my context. And if you tell him
True.
rebuild the website, he'll spend 4 weeks rebuilding, or 6 weeks, 8 weeks rebuilding the website. No questions asked.
Yeah.
It's his 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a difference there as well. Like how much autonomy do you need the person to be proactive and be like a consultant? That's
Yeah.
also because you might
Yeah.
still get an internal full-time person but a consultant to kind of figure out what kind of tasks you need to give them.
Right. Sometimes I think like that fresh set of eyes in like the consultant part of our work is so much more valuable because like internal people just spend all day, every day looking at their stuff. And so sometimes it's hard to see what's glaringly wrong or what could be improved with things for sure until somebody else comes in. So,
100%, yeah. One of the like I have actually one of my most recent clients. Um, we're on a retainer basis, and most of it is purely consulting. It's not any
Mm,
technical execution, and they have a bunch of web developers internally. They can do what I do.
yeah.
It's really because they know I have a bird's eye view on a lot of different tech companies.
Yeah.
Um, and essentially, I can call out their flaws from a higher level. Essentially, so I
Ooh.
know I'm noticing more and more like it's super high value. It's not
Yeah.
just the technical skill. I think is becoming more and more just a fraction of what we do.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And so you're kind of moving into like high level strategy. That's so sick. I would love to, like, I do a lot of strategy, of course, with my clients, but I would love that to be a bigger part of my job. Just like swoop in, take a look around, yap, and then tell them what's
Yeah,
up without
yeah,
actually having to necessarily like grind and execute on everything.
I get
That's,
it. Yeah.
yeah, that's a pretty sweet spot.
You feel more like
um,
you feel more like a partner at that point, and it's a lot more
yeah.
fulfilling as well when
Yeah.
something comes, like when you reap the fruits of your labor. It's a
Yeah.
lot more fulfilling.
Totally. Um, what would you say are some of the soft skills that help you get to where you are today?
The soft skills, huh? That's
Yeah.
a okay, soft skills. So let's say I think let's say yeah, for sure. Like we know communication is a big one.
Mhm.
I think one that's underrepresented is probably online communication through Slack, LinkedIn, emails,
Yes.
especially
Being
emails. I think
responsive. Yes,
yeah,
totally.
super responsive. Like insane responsiveness is a huge
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
I try to make it as much of a point as possible to like answer within as quickly as I can. Sometimes within
Yeah.
the second I get the notification, what no matter what I'm doing, I just answer. But
Mhm.
yeah, realistically, within an hour, I force
Yeah.
myself to get on my emails. But it is distracting though, so you have to find a good middle ground.
Yeah.
Um, but I try to answer at least give a quick answer and get back to whatever I'm doing. I
Yeah.
try not to make it too long. But I'd say
Mhm.
yeah, responsiveness, and that's a skill I've developed like through thanks to jobs, especially jobs that
Mhm.
use a lot of tools like Slack,
Mhm.
this and Asana and that.
Yeah.
Then you kind of have to keep your eyes everywhere.
Mhm.
So yeah, and concise, clear communication.
Mhm.
Um, and I'd say setting boundaries, as I said, that's a soft skill, right?
Ooh, yeah, I
Uh,
would say so for sure. Yeah.
yeah, it's
That
extremely
that's
important.
such a big one because if you're so stretched out, you're doing a disservice to everybody. Like you
Hmm.
because you can't because all your work kind of becomes muddled and not as high quality as you'd like it to be because you're too stretched thin. So that's
Yeah,
a great point.
yeah.
Awesome.
Like I keep doing that mistake every few months. I take one too many jobs, right? And I'm like,
Yes.
and then I have to kind of at some point I need to compromise somewhere. But
Yeah.
I make it a point to instead of compromising on the quality of work, I compromise on the delay. So I just
Yeah.
reach out to one of the clients, and depending on which one, right, so strategically, and I try to push the deadlines and stuff. But it's
Mhm.
still extra overhead on myself and extra stress.
Yeah.
So for sure, that's something to like continuously make sure you have like you're not 80-90% of your bandwidth every time, just in case
Mhm.
that buffer.
Yes. Yeah, good point, good point,
I
and
guess
it's the
project
best.
management, like all of that sounds like
Yeah.
project management.
Yeah, and I guess you can use that buffer sometimes to, like, take a nap.
Yeah, yeah,
Play one of your guitars behind you.
exactly. Yeah, not enough of those. That's one big thing, honestly. Time management as a whole, and
Yeah.
realizing I don't know about yourself, but a lot of people talk about work life balance, and when business is a lifestyle, it's hard.
Mhm.
Like the line between those gets faded.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need to build it in your work schedule. Like for me, my work schedule, life schedule, whatever, it's the same thing. So I
Yeah.
need to intentionally take time to go for a walk, visit my parents, like do some
Yes.
yoga,
Yes.
and get all the work in.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the benefit of being freelancing is you don't have to do a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
You could do sometimes I do 9 to 9, but like throughout the day, I'm taking a lot
Yeah.
of breaks and I'm
Yes,
visiting
true.
my parents, going shopping, whatever, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah, I took a long lunch on Tuesday. I think it was, like, 2 hours, but then I worked till, like, 8, and I
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
I'm at least glad I got that social time in, so yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Awesome. Well, great. Thank you so much, Yasser, for having the little yap with me. This was so much fun.
yeah. Yeah, it was honestly.
Good. I'm super glad. And thanks so much to everybody who checks out the rest of the article. Be sure to leave a comment. Have you ever thought about being fractional or freelance or a contractor? How do you feel about Yasser's journey from working in the kitchens to sales to working for an agency to finally working for himself full time? Let us know your thoughts. And thanks so much for enjoying this edition. We'll see you next one. Don't work too hard.